going to be producing a 30-second commercial. While basic, it will be a versatile commercial, meaning it can be used for radio, paired with visual for television or a YouTube campaign, even social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, etc. You should have a handout with you, and we are going to follow those steps precisely. So you can use that, you can use this visual tutorial, you can use them together to produce your final product. Usually, I would have you record and produce your own voice and select your own music bed to give you your own unique individual sounding commercial. However, given our allotment of time and for the purposes of today's lesson, we'll all be using the same audio and same music bed to complete our task. So ideally, at the end of class, we will all have identical sounding commercials. So let's get started. I'm using a Mac, you may be using a PC. No matter the device, locate Adobe Audition, double click it, and this should be your screen now. First thing what we want to do is we want to import our vocals. So we'll go up to File, Import, File. Not sure where your files will be located just yet. Nonetheless, they won't be difficult to find. I have everything in a folder on my desktop titled June 29th. I've located the dry vocals. I'll click them. I'll press open. And what I mean by dry vocals is they have not been touched yet. No effects, no processing, no compression, nothing. Completely dry. Before we do anything else, I like to save right away. And I do like to save throughout the process of completing whatever task it is I'm completing because you never know. Computer could shut off, program could shut down, and if you don't save, you may lose what you're working on. So we're going to come to File, Save As. This is going to save in my same folder, June 29th on my desktop. I'm just going to title it Commercial for now. Boom, we're saved. So let's hear how the dry vocals sound.
We know. Life gets hectic. Work, kids, sports.
So pretty loud. You saw the red over here. You don't want your audio to be in the red. You can see the peakage at the bottom and the top. So what we want to do is we want to clean that up. And in the process of processing and cleaning it up, we are going to make it sound more robust. We're going to give it a more fuller sound. So to do so, we highlight, and to highlight, we simply double click. Then we're going to go up to Effects, come down to Amplitude and Compression, slide over and down to Dynamics Processing. You'll see my preset, there it is, Classic Soft Knee, but you'll come up there to the presets, click Classic Soft Knee. There's quite a few presets here, and you can play with them how you want. You'll figure out what your niche is with your own voice and what you like and how it sounds. Working with different voices, you'll also find that, okay, what works for my voice may not work for this voice. I do happen to know the individual of this voice, and so I know that Classic Soft Knee will work well with his voice. But it just takes time, toggle around with and figure out what you like. So we select Classic Soft Knee, and we're going to come down here and apply it. Immediately you saw that the audio compressed, it condensed. So we still have some peakage, but we'll take care of that shortly in the following steps. And we also don't have as much. Let's play it.
We know. Life gets hectic. Work, kids, sports. Who could expect you to remember ice for the barbecue?
So he has more of a professional sound now, if you will. Also, while we still saw red down here, we didn't see as much red. Nonetheless, like I said, we'll take care of all of that here in a minute. So there's our vocals. But we don't want this commercial to only have vocals. We want to add some music behind it. So to do so, we'll do the same thing that we did for these, or to get the vocals in. We will go to File, Import, File. It's going to take us to the same folder. There's our music. Open. And so we see our music. It came over here. Our commercial, our vocals are still highlighted. We'll double click the music. There's our music file. Let's play it real quick. It's pretty loud. We'll bring that down here shortly though as well. So right now we're in wave form, if you will, regardless of what we're viewing, our vocals or our music. We want to work on them together though. So To do so, we're going to go up here to multitrack because we're working with 2 tracks, multitrack. So we're not just working with one piece of audio anymore. Now we're working with 2, and we want to work with them simultaneously and together. So to do so, we click multitrack. It's going to ask us to create a new session. We'll do so. Commercial 30. Title it whatever works for you. Then we'll select OK. And now you see we immediately get a different screen. We have track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4. Tracks are limitless. We're only working with 2. So to work on our tracks together, we're going to drag them both into track 1 and track 2. So we'll get our vocals. Simply click and drag. Don't worry about that. Just click OK. Now we have our vocals on track 1. Going to do the same thing for the music. Click and drag, and we have our music on track 2. Let's play them together.
We know life gets hectic. Work, kids, sports. Who could expect you to remember ice for the barbecue?
So while it doesn't sound crazy, the music is pretty hot. It's still pretty loud. In regards to the vocals. The vocals are what we want to hear. We want to hear the music too because you're setting the vibe, you're setting the tone for the commercial. But the vocals are what's important because that's the information, that's the content, that's what the client's paying for. So we're going to turn the volume down on the music. I'm going to take it down. I'm going to take it down to 9.9 or 10.2. We'll go 10.2. How about that? I'm just taking a guess here. Maybe less, maybe more.
We know life gets hectic. Work, kids, sports. Who could expect you to remember ice for the barbecue? Diapers for the baby? Or maybe it's food for the dog. Can't get...
So I think that works well. The vocals sit on top of the music pretty nicely. Maybe a little bit too much, but for me, I'd rather have it be just a little bit much than a little bit less because I want to make sure that the vocals are the spotlight and that everything can be heard clearly. So we'll leave it right there at the 10.2. I took it down to a negative 10.2, I should say. And all I did there was I came over here. This is the volume. Hovered my mouse over it, clicked, and I dragged to my left to minimize volume. I drag to my right to maximize volume. So I'm going to take it back down. We'll put it at 9.9. How about that? So that doesn't sound bad.
We know life gets hectic. Work, kids, sports. Who could expect you to remember ice for the barbecue?
Our vocals are still hitting the red a little bit though, so we're going to take that down, our vocals down just a little bit too, but not too much.
We know life gets hectic. Work, kids, sports. Who could expect you to remember ice for the barbecue?
And that should do it. So you'll see what we're viewing. We're kind of zoomed in, we're kind of not. As far as your view, depending on what you're working on, if I were trimming audio, I'd want to be more tightly zoomed in to view what I'm trimming. But all you do for view, click that and drag either way. So we're creating a 30-second commercial. The vocals are only 30 seconds. However, you see that the music bed is just under 3 minutes. And so we don't need all of that. This is a 30-second commercial. So we are going to trim the music bed. And simply what we do for that is go to the end, hover our mouse over it. You'll see that red almost colon up here, if you will. Not colon, parentheses. And we will drag. So we click and we drag down to the 30-second mark to fit that of the vocals. I'll come back to my view to have that together.
We know life gets hectic. Work, kids, sports. Who could expect you to remember ice for the barbecue?
So cool, we're almost there. For me, I like to fade music in and out. Depending on how it fits with the music or with the vocals. So this music doesn't come in too hot. However, I still think a subtle fade would work well. So all I'm going to do, hover my mouse over this gray half and half box, click and drag to the right to fade in. If I went too far, I just bring it back to the left. So there's my fade in. Let's see how that sounds.
We know life gets hectic. Work, kids, sports.
So perfect. We have a simple build-up to come in. I'm going to fade it out as well. Same concept. Hover my mouse over this half and half gray box. Click and drag to the left. Let's play that.
.com. You got this. Can't get to terribles? Get terribles to you.
Perfect. So now we've just created our commercial for the most part, but it's still in two forms of audio, and so we need it to be one. We need it to be one file. So to do so, we need to highlight. Simply click and drag. Select your pieces of audio. We're going to go to File. Dun, 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 dun. Where am I at? We're going to go to Export. Sorry. We are going to go to Multitrack Mixdown. And we are going to go to Selected Clips because we selected the clips. In this case, our selected clips are our entire session, so we could select either, but we'll stay here for right now. We click. It's going to ask us to save it and title it. So I'm going to title this Final. It's going to go to the same folder where I have all my materials at. Now I'll click OK. We still have this, but we're going to come back over to our box. There we see Commercial 30 Final. Double click. And that takes us to the one singular file. Let's play it. See what we have.
We know life gets hectic. Work, kids, sports. Who could expect you to remember ice for the barbecue? Diapers for the baby? Or maybe it's food for the dog. Can't get to terribles? Get terribles to you. With all the essential items you need complete with contactless delivery right to your doorstep. And ordering couldn't be easier with the free Terrible Social House app or online at terribleherbs.com. You got this. Can't get to terribles? Get terribles to you.
Perfect. It ended right at 30. Sounded good. Had a nice fade in and a fade out. There is our final commercial. So you should have something sounding similar to that. For our next class, we will be working with our own voice and selecting our own music beds to create our own unique individual sounding commercial. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, email me, and we will continue to work. So thank you for your time today. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you later. Peace.